And
And where did that confidence come from? Was it literally just kind of, I almost got that guy, I got him into my position here? Did you start looking at losses as a learning achievement rather than like, because I used to moan about it the whole weekend. It would destroy my confidence if I tapped silly things like that. Did you start looking at losses as a, right, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on that, and look for gaps to fill in your game?
yeah, so I think if I had to point one thing in my entire career, in the jiu-jitsu career, now even like in the business, that I really admire on myself is like work ethic. Like so.
Hmm.
Uh, I keep my work ethic no matter what. Like so. If I'm gonna compete this weekend and I'm gonna lose in the first match, on Monday I'm gonna show up in the 12 o'clock class and I'm gonna show up in the 6 o'clock class when I was competing, right? And if I won the tournament, I'm gonna do the same thing. Actually, I always gave myself before the tournament I would rest for 2 days, and after the tournament I would rest for 2 or 3 days as well, just so I could recover. But so for example, on Tuesday I would train no matter what, if I lost or if I won. And I think same thing in business. Like if we had like a bad month or bad deal or if something wrong is happening, I'm gonna wake up next day and I'm gonna do exactly the same thing that I would do if things were going well. Like so. I always try to stay stable on my work ethic. Like this is like I think the one thing that I look backwards and I see like a parameter in my life on every years of my career, and this and that. Like
And where do you think that comes from? Is that from like your parents? Do you think seeing like initially when your dad said you can go and do jujitsu, but that's up to, you've got to make it work. And then when you were talking of coming out of it, they said, okay, we'll pay you room and board. You've gone far enough that we think you can do it. Do you think their encouragement, seeing what they had done previously?
I think it's a group of things. So for example, since the start of my career in jiu-jitsu, I always had a lot of pressure on me, right? Because I had to make that thing happen. Like I was the only one in my family that was like going against the traditional path, right? Like
Hmm.
becoming this type of profession and this and that. And I never knew if I would make it happen. Like jiu-jitsu was pretty small at that time. Now it's a big sport and this and that. And even being a big sport, you know how hard it is to make to the top. Like so, I had a lot of pressure on myself, and I was lucky to have great examples in my life. So, for example, I grew up seeing my dad leaving my house 8 a.m. and coming back 8 p.m.
Jeez.
And I grew up seeing my mom. My mom was like, she didn't work. She was a mom of 3 kids, but she was that type of person that from the time she woke up until the time she goes to sleep, she was doing something to us. Like she was bringing us to school, picking up to school, go to the dances, go to the soccer, come back, bring this
Hmm.
one to the house, the friend's house, go. So she was always, 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 always like working to ourselves, to us, right? And she was doing like what was she was supposed to do. So those two examples. Then when I started jiu-jitsu, my first instructor, Ricardo Marques, I never saw in my life, and I was there from 2001 to 2009. I never saw him skipping one class in 9 years. Never. I maybe he never got sick, or maybe he would go there sick, teach anyways. And I saw like relatives dying, and in the day of the funeral, he would still go there and teach the class, and so I never saw him missing like one jiu-jitsu class, like to teach us, like so. And then I went to train Fabio Gurgel, and I think he's probably the most professional jiu-jitsu school owner and jiu-jitsu instructor. And then I moved to New York City and went to train under Marcelo Garcia, which is the most disciplined and almost like paranoid athlete that I ever saw in my life. Like he is that type of guy that he's gonna do everything perfect for his career, like. And then my business partners as well, both Michael Zhang and Michael Reardon, they are very like straightforward as well, and this and that. So I always had great examples in my life, like, so I think that, and that was just lucky, like, and don't, it's not my credit here, like, because I was lucky to have those guys, this type of people around me, like.